All right, everybody, welcome back. Live at Drew's house, another edition Joppa Afternoon Drive from the studio. How sweet it is to be back here. As much as I like my kitchen, it's nice to get out, isn't it? Hope everybody's doing well. We're closing in on Christmas. Hope everybody's doing good with the shopping and enjoying the lead up to the holidays, not too stressful and all that stuff. I am thrilled. I always love this week because, sometimes people have a little bit more time on their hands and they want to, I don't know if they want to get away from their families. I'll ask Charlie this in a second, but one of my favorite guests is in the house, a good friend of mine. I love having friends on Christmas week. Charlie Carozzo. How are you, Charlie?
I'm doing great, Drew. Thank you for having me in, and happy holidays to you and everybody out there.
That's not why you wanted out, is it? Too much family time on the week?
No, as a matter of fact, today was the first day that I've really gotten in the Christmas spirit. I don't know if it's the solstice.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I don't know if it was coming to see you or what it was, but I woke up this morning and I was singing Christmas songs and I was sort of feeling it for the first time today. Boy. So I'm gearing up.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, my favorite Christmas song right now is a song by Robert Earl Keen called "Merry Christmas from the Family." I don't know if you know that one.
I don't think I do know that one.
Maybe I could play that. It's sort of a redneck Christmas song.
Okay, so. Very good. I joke about your family because we've all got to, anybody who follows you on Facebook over the pandemic got to see a little bit of them because you let us into your living room / goose cab / kitchen area. I don't know where that was for you, but you played you can give me the numbers. You got them all written down, but you streamed for all of us when there was nothing else going on. People were stuck at home doing nothing, looking for some sort of outlet, couldn't go to live shows. You streamed for us live every single night. It was crazy.
I did. I got on that train pretty early, and mostly out of self-preservation. We've talked about this a little bit, but it was mostly for just trying to keep my head from wandering into bad places, because at that time nobody knew what was going to happen, nobody knew what was going on, and it was kind of stressful, obviously, for everybody. So it was a great way to relieve stress and feel connected to folks. So
it was fun, man. I think I actually met friends through your friends that were commenting on that thing. It was bizarre.
It's great. I'm still I'm still meeting people. I played in Hudson last week, and a guy came up and he said hello. Hey, I'm Brian, and then he gave me his last name, and I was like, oh, from Facebook, and like that from those shows. So that was great. It was great to. I'm still sort of meeting people that connected through that. So it's great.
It's crazy, and I know your wife and your boy there. They must have that must have been a little bit like there must have been one night where they were like, can you take a night off? Like I got.
Yeah.
What an awesome job by them. Right?
That's pretty much why I stopped. It got a little bit heavy on the family. Not just the hour or two that I was doing it at night, but I was, taking it pretty seriously and trying to come up with new songs so I was practicing 2-3 hours a day for it, and then doing the 2 hour, and they were like, okay,
Pro's pro. You got to take all this stuff seriously.
Well, right? I can be obsessive. That's part of my personality, I suppose.
You mentioned new songs. Do we have some of those growing out of the pandemic here? Or?
Yeah, there's I have a bunch of new songs. I got a new record that I recorded during all of this with Gary Backstrom on guitar, who I think who I'm also in the Coal Boilers with.
I don't know him well, actually. I've seen him perform with you, and I think, a quick hello. I also bumped into him randomly he was playing with Martin Sexton, which must have been a pretty cool moment for him.
Yes, at the Corral.
Yeah, is that Lexington? I don't really know if
well, they're Gloucester, but I don't know where they had the show.
Yeah, I think it was Lexington.
Okay.
But yeah, either way, yeah. Yes, the Full Corral band, yes.
The Full Corral, and that's right. Yeah, that must have been really fun.
Yeah, it was.
I know Martin Sexton is one of Gary's heroes as well as one of mine. So,
yeah.
But yeah, there's he was in it. Lynn Taylor, who I know from up here, was playing bass and singing, did some great harmonies on it, and then Charlie Rockwood Farr played drums. So it's a 10-song record, and it's coming out whenever they can print the vinyl. I don't know if you know about this, but if you try to do a vinyl project, they're way out because there's such high demand for vinyl. So they're saying March, in terms of it's been done and it's been submitted for a couple months, but it takes that long for them to actually do it. And I just got the test pressings back, And they're good, but they could be a little better. So we're probably going to send them another master. That'll put me out another couple months, but eventually it'll come out.
I did not know the supply chain was influencing you so much.
It's a supply chain, and it's not. I'm not even sure it's a sort of pandemic related supply chain. I think just the demand for vinyl has grown so much that's really what's affecting it.
It kind of gives me chills though when you say that, because I kind of like the whole idea of music on vinyl, and that's kind of nice to hear.
Yeah, me too. And I started talking to people. I said, well, when's the last time you listened to a CD? And some people still have a CD player in their car, and many fewer still have one in their house. But almost nobody I spoke to said that they had listened to a CD in the last year.
A lot of cars aren't even making them anymore.
That's right. If you get a newer car, you're not going to have one.
That's crazy. And of course, you got the Googles and the Alexas of the world, and that's kind of replaced the in-house thing. People get that on their kitchen counter. So
digital and vinyl. I probably won't release it on CD only because I don't really see much point.
I like it. I got the record player and that's my two forms of music. I got the OK Google and I got the record player. That's what I got. There you go. Although I let my wife has a better. Have you ever I have bad hands. I screw up the record thing a lot. So let me do the record. She always jumps in.
You scrape the needle.
Yeah.
Across.
I'm brutal at it. I don't know.
You have to get one with an automatic needle drop. I think I'm too old to drop it on there.
Drop the needle and pray for. It's a song lyric, yeah. All right. Anyway, everything else is good though. This is it's great to see you in person.
Everything else is good.
As much as I loved our digital Zoom shows, it's great to see you in person.
This is really nice. It's really nice to be back here. Like we were saying before the show, the last time that we did get together was right before everything sort of shut down. I think I was one of your last in-person shows before you went to Drew's house.
Yeah.
And then, like me, I think we both had short hair and no beard at that point.
And now look what's happened.
You might have had a beard, but I think we all just went. I think we all let it go for the last couple of years.
This is the longest I've ever been. With the hair, yeah.
It's looking good.
I appreciate that.
Great over there.
Thank you. From another long-haired man. See, that's I can take that with pride.
It's okay.
You want to play a little new stuff or old stuff? Whatever you want to do.
I can play something for you. So I'll give you the choice. I have
pressure.
I have sort of a fun one, and I have sort of a dark one.
Ooh. The audience might not like me for this. I always go dark.
I go dark too, which is one of the reasons I like you. So, all right, I'll play you this one. This one's called Supply and Demand, and it's kind of a two stories in one. It's based off. It's sort of loosely based off a true story from an NPR report that I heard years ago on the radio about this little boy. His name was Yosiel, and he lived in Juarez, and he was caught in a crossfire from the drug wars down there. And I don't know if you listen to a lot of NPR, but they have the sound effects in the background as they're telling the story, and they had the grandmother crying in the background, and it really affected me, when she discovered, her grandson, and it really affected me. And I for years I was like, I'm going to write a song about that, and then I got the idea to write sort of a two-part story, and this is where it sort of deviates from the true story. Is there's the story of Juarez and Yosiel. And then there's the story of, a girl in Boston who is sort of the demand side of the drug trade, where the Yosiel story is sort of the supply side of the drug trade. So the song's called Supply and Demand.
All right, Charlie Carozzo, Joppa, Afternoon Drive.
Yosiel does what his grandmother says, stretches his arms as he gets out of bed, runs downstairs for a kiss on the forehead. Yosiel eats up his fresh fruit and eggs, Papa's asleep as his grandmother begs him to wake up and start shaking a leg at the board of the school in the US of A. in town. She's looking for more, but a man's not around. Lines on the mirror, lines on a frown. When she used to be young, she could handle the calm down. About 35 and she's just getting home. Man, one more time and her heart turns to bone. Head hits the pillow, throws down her phone. If there's one thing she hates, it's herself all alone. Yo, yo, you'll see it. Papa stumbles downstairs and she knows something's wrong. He ain't been the same since the gangs came along. Been a year since Yosiel's mother's been gone. Sasha a weakness, it once was so strong. The school in El Paso, son's only hope. The only way out of the guns and the dope. The hope for the future's riddled with doubt. School costs money, now the money's run out. It's 8 in the morning, cracks open her eyes. Looks at herself wearing last night's disguise. Shakes out her hair, tells herself lies. All the signs of her problems she don't realize. 8:15 and she's late for work. Tries a man one more time, when he answers she smirks. Trying not to sound desperate, calls him a jerk. She said, I'll meet you at lunch, baby. You want cocaine and perks? Yo, yo, you'll see it. Papa sold his soul for his son. Watches him go after run after run. Never questions where the money comes from. Never stop to worry about the competition. Yosiel's late, so he jumps in the truck. Make it in time if they have any luck. It was the border bridge where the bullets struck. Caught in a crossfire like a sitting duck. The angels pull Papa's soul to the sky. Grandmother screams as the angels they cry. Watches the light run away from his eyes. 8 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 8 in the morning, Yosiel died. Katie goes out that night to get high. Don't care where it comes from or why. As long as she gets what she needs to get by. As long as there's a demand. Long as there's a demand. Long as there's a demand to be supplied. 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning. Yosiel dies.
Nicely done, Charlie Carozzo. Very nice.
It's a cheery little number, right?
Yeah. Yes. I was just thinking, people waking up here looking at us going, they chose the dark one first, really? Damn you, Drew. No, very nice.
Thanks.
Thanks for the song setup too. That always makes those better when you can see where your head was at when you wrote it. I think I heard cheers from the outside studio too. That's always a good sign. You never sure what's going on out there. All right. So that is a kind of a freshly written song, or
Yeah, that's new. That's too new to be on this other record.
Gotcha,
But yeah,
okay.
that was one that wrote over the last year.
okay.
You know,
It's a pandemic song.
so you know it's good to sometimes it's good to have a little time to sit around and finish, because that's one that was I had the chord progression for a long time and I finally put it together.
Yeah. I like the chord progression too. It's catchy. Did you write a lot during the pandemic?
I did.
You did.
I did. I had a writing partner as well during the pandemic. It's the first time I've ever gone. I wrote the music and lyrics to that one, but I wrote maybe 7 or 8 songs with my friend Franny Gallagher, and he's a lyricist. And I had all these, chord progression little ideas in my iPhone. A lot of people do it that way now.
Yeah.
You sort of, when you think of something, you put it in your iPhone.
Don't want to forget it.
Don't want to forget it, and you have it. It's great. It's such a great tool, but
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't get back to them. You don't circle back to them. So
Yeah.
I had a bunch of things that I just hadn't come up with ideas for, other than general, like I want this song to be about this or that. And I sent him a bunch of them, and almost same day or 2 days later, he would send me back lyrics that kind of
Wow.
blew me away. And I can play one of those for you. That's more in the happy vein. You know? I don't know. It's a murder ballad, but with a happy ending. So I don't really go full on happy, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about
Show should come with a disclaimer. We will not be going full on happy, despite your Christmas gatherings.
But it's
here.
it's a more upbeat, cheery song than that last one. That's for sure.
I feel like we may have touched on this before, but I think maybe you asked me, or I don't know if it was even on the show or off the show. But what's your favorite album? And I always feel weird answering it because I feel like people might be looking at you like, oh, I wonder what's going on with that guy. But it's like Darkness on the Edge of Town from Springsteen, and like not exactly the happiest 8 tracks of the world, So it's always like, really? So what are you like, Mr. Darkness on the Edge of Town? Favorite songs, Yeah. I don't know. I always go for the dark ones. It's interesting.
Yeah, I usually answer that. I mean, that's a hard question to answer because there's so many. You'd want to throw out like 10, but one of my favorites is Tumbleweed Connection by Elton John, and that's like sort of, it's got a lot of those, a lot of murder and Old West sort of imagery, and it's like, but they're kind of happy sounding songs like "Burn Down the Mission."
Yes,
it's kind of an upbeat song, but they're burning down the mission.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's one for the kids. There you go. Interesting. Does the lyrics come first for you, or other way around, or sometimes they vary?
It depends, but I usually get chord ideas first.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get an idea for a lyric and I know the feel that I want, and I'll go to the chords after. But for the most part, it's I'm writing the chords and then I'm putting ideas together with it. Sometimes it's ideas that I've already had, but most of the time it's the chords make me feel a certain way, and then I'll bring out the lyrics from there.
Any of the pandemic writing, I would imagine when you're writing a lot, like I know whenever I'm writing anything seriously, it takes me 25 times. I can imagine like there's a lot of it go in the trash, get it right, trash, get it right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'm trashing whole ideas, but I'm revising it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm certainly revising it a lot, and especially when it comes to, like, I like to have that. I like to have the cadence of the lyrics, sort of be something that adds to the song while I'm playing. I think everybody's probably like this too, that writes songs. But, sometimes I'll write lines that don't exactly fit, with the rhythms that I'm playing. And so I'm awkwardly trying to fit all the words in. And that's when I know I got to go back and, take out a word, add a word. And,
do you ever disagree with the lyricist? Like if you're doing that for the first time, you're like, no, I want to do it that way.
So that's interesting. So it for the most part, we ran 7 songs with really very little back and forth.
And you're probably choosing somebody that there's some chemistry there. I mean, it's not like
kind of. I didn't really know him very well. He reached out to me, and he was a friend of a friend, but he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, I have this one song that I really like. Would you mind writing some chords to it?" And he sent me the lyrics, and I thought they were great, and but I didn't get to it. I just I wrote this little thing, and then I sort of put it away, and then I came back to it, finished it, sent it to him, and didn't think about it really for another 6 months or so. And it was kind of, I got busy, and then I found it in my iPhone, and I was listening to it. I was like, boy, this is really good. I don't remember writing this. I was like, these lyrics are great. I don't remember writing this. And I'm like, I'm Googling the lyrics to see if like it's some other song
no
that
kidding.
I was
No
covering.
memory?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is me. I had no memory. And then I looked it up in my email, and I was like, oh, that's Franny's song. And then I reached out to him again. I said, hey, do you want to write a few more? And, I really surprised myself, or when I revisited this song, I was like, do you want to write some more? And then we did. But yeah, we ran about seven songs before we sort of hit a roadblock with one song, where I wanted the lyrics to line up a certain way, and we weren't communicating very well on it, and but that's okay. We got over that bump, and we're going back and forth again.
There you go. Do you want to play one of those? One of the
yeah. So this one.
Don't let me mess with your set list. You do.
No, that's okay. These are the 2 that I was planning on playing. So this one is called "Shotgun in the Rain," and it's a little, and that's all I had. when I called him, I was like, I got this song. I think I want it to be called "Shotgun in the Rain." And
Great title.
You know, and yeah, I was like, that's all I had. And and I had the chord progression, and he wrote the rest. So doesn't mean it's a bank robbery gone wrong type of song.
All right,
So.
Charlie Carozzo on Joppa Afternoon Drive.
Remember when sitting around making plans to blow this town? Beat the man, your brother said, don't you ever forget. Dealer said, you hear his voice. House on the edge, don't you dare hoist. That heat of sun, don't you lose your poise. Play the game, make your choice. We pulled it off, girl, wish that teller hadn't died. Hiding out and laying low when will the heat subside. Jake never made it out, last thing I heard him shout. Pray for my sister, boy, won't dare to take that ride. He said, dealer said, I hear his voice. House on the edge, don't you dare hoist. Back in the sun, don't you lose your poise. Play the game, make your choice. Grab that train, meet my shotgun in the rain. Jump that boxcar, headed out that mountain chain. We're feeling fine, yo, and never look back, spruce pine. When I get there, we'll be dropping you that dime. He said, dealer said, I hear his voice. House on the edge, don't you dare hoist. Back in the sun, don't you lose your poise. Play the game, make your choice. Boy, baby, just low railed out of town. We'll meet up and grab a drink, spend the night getting home. We're never looking back, we're pulling up those tracks. Future's bright, look ahead, remember what Jake said. Dealer said, I hear his voice. House on the edge, don't you dare hoist. Back in the sun, don't you lose your poise. Play the game, make your choice. Make your choice. Play the game. Make your choice.
All right, Charlie Carozzo on Joppa Afternoon Drive. Very excited, very nice, sir. Sounding great over there, as always. And this is so last. I mean, last time I'm talking to you in my kitchen here. I mean, all I wanted to go was go see you and our friends go out and play, and we didn't have that ability. You're now back out there playing a lot. It must be. It must be kind of. What was that like getting back out there? Was it kind of weird at all riding a bike? I don't know. What was it?
Oh no, it was so summertime. We were playing in summer, and then it sort of dropped out. But like before that, when there was nothing going on, and then getting back out there, it was, we decided to do a few private parties first.
Yeah.
So we had that, no pressure. Let's just go out, sit in someone's backyard and
Can
play.
I stop you there for a second? I have seen some of the footage from those private parties of just people filming. You have a very diehard fan base private party group. Like there's like full-fledged dancing and everything. There was like a downpouring rainstorm at one point, and people were still out there like with you guys. Good fans.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. All the projects that I've been doing it for a long time, and we have a group that is pretty diehard and goes out. Like even last week, Gary and I played the Coal Boilers. Gary Backstrom and I played Saturday. When the snowstorm was starting, and a whole bunch of people came out. It was really
Where was
nice.
that? Because you got like legit
That was
snow
in
where you were.
That was in Waltham. That was and it actually snowed. It was coming down in the afternoon in Waltham. A place called Craft Food Hall, which they own a couple places. They own Revolution Food Hall in Lexington, which we are playing at Wednesday, January 5th, I think.
Okay.
And that sort of just came up, so in a week or so. But
Is that a day show there?
Yeah, well, the one on Wednesday night is 5 to 8, and then the Saturdays, we're doing a Saturday there, I think the 15th of January, or if that's a Saturday, I'm not sure. But those are Those are 1 to 4, which is nice.
Okay, yeah.
Because I
You
can
know how
get,
much I love day music.
it's nice, you know. You can get, you know. And I actually we had a gig at the Stone Church with the band with Way Up South.
What a cool place that is, right?
It's awesome. It's awesome. But that wasn't the best booking on my part. Not because of snowstorm. You know, that's going to happen. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I did not look at the Patriots schedule when I scheduled that game.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Yeah.
they had the Patriots game on the big screen up top because they have a room up top now with a big screen that they usually put the band up there and like simulcast up to the top floor with the band, and you know, not that night.
Not this night, yeah. It's kind of like the one thing around here that people like won't accept, like not on the big screen. It's the football game.
You have to. That's part of playing in New England. You know, you have
Yeah.
to accept that. You know, and it doesn't matter. You know,
Here's a lesson for all the young musicians
that's it.
out there.
That's
yeah.
it. You have to
Yeah.
know that. You know, you have to know that if it's October, it could be the Red Sox. If it's June, it could be the Celtics. You know, not lately, but you know, it could be. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, or the Bruins, and it's and of course the Patriots. It's you know, I just didn't think about the Saturday night game. So
Well, I believe actually, I'm going to kind of take it off you a little bit. Wasn't that a flex move by the NFL?
I don't know.
I don't
Because
think.
if
I don't think this is your fault.
Okay, I'll sign off on that. Although it's not really true because I didn't check it either way. But yeah, if that was a flex move by the NFL,
think it was.
I didn't see it coming.
I think it was
so.
like a week before. I think they made that move.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know why I know that, but I double check it. I don't think this is your fault. I think
It's something you got to accept, though, and it's
Yeah.
happened. It's you know, obviously it's happened so many times. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you know, you don't root for the Red Sox not to be in the World Series, but if they are,
Yeah.
and you got a gig booked that night, there's nothing you can do about it.
We've been down this road too. I know you and I, but I mean, I do. You, I know, you're beyond this where you probably don't even let it affect you anymore. But I can imagine for a young musician, it is hard. Like you're up there, like these are songs you've poured your life into. I'm pouring my soul out to this audience, and like, no, they didn't go for 2. You kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, like really, we're not paying attention.
Well,
like,
I just, you know, all I do is, you know, if there's a big cheer and somebody scores, I just take it that they're liking the song. I don't question it.
Yeah, right. There you go. Play off. Yeah, I guess it's like if you're playing in a road arena. Oh, they're cheering for you, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is how old I am. I remember I had a gig. I was playing Great Scots in Boston, and I had a gig, and the dance floor was full, and everybody was having a great time, and everybody was dancing. All of a sudden, everybody left the dance floor and was glued to the TVs. And it was the night that OJ made his run in the white Bronco. And I was like, so that's how I'm dating myself here. But I was like, you know, and we were like, what's going on? And we got off stage and went and looked and watched. Yeah, so
Did you go back on stage?
Yeah, we went back on stage. But I mean, you know, but yeah, I remember, you know, I remember where I was, you know, and what happened. You
Man,
know, so.
it's funny. I always say it's you know, I'm a little younger than you. I remember that's like the first news story I kind of like remember. People ask you that, like, what's the first news story you really remember? And you know, it came up during September 11th because some of the younger kids I'm working with now, they're coming up in the news business, are like, oh yeah, I don't really remember September 11th. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I go, well, I guess it makes sense. I mean, I was only in high school, so yeah, okay, it makes sense that you wouldn't remember it. But it's like kind of those weird moments. And for me, OJ was like the first thing I remember asking my dad about it. Wait, so what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of probably a tough one to have to explain. But I don't know, do you remember the first news story you remember? Like first one?
Yeah, first one that I can really remember was because I got pulled in to watch it on TV was when I think this is a long time ago when it was a space thing. It was a coupling of 2 space vehicles, and I think it was us and the Russians or something like that. In space.
Gotcha.
You know, I got pulled in. For that.
All right.
You know, so
space, yeah, space. I like the space stories too. I was thinking about you actually when before the show we were talking with Tyler here, who, by the way, Tyler Neufeld. This is his last week. I'll probably do this a couple times here in the shows to finish. But Tyler Neufeld, who's been a big time producer on this show for many years, is leaving to go to New York City. We wish him all the best. He did a
Tyler.
Yes, he really is. He works very hard, and I do the easy part here and do the talking part and all that, but he does the hard part and putting it all together. Now Sarah Blackstone's doing that and doing a great job. But I've only been joking this week, Tyler, about how Sarah is making us not gonna forget you at all. You've done a great job.
Tyler who?
Tyler, exactly. I have dropped a few Tyler Who's here in the last couple of weeks, but he's been great, so we wish him all the best. But I was thinking about him because I heard you asking him about New York a little bit and all that. And he's actually a musician who's, broke a recent band breakup. And you had like some really good band stories, if I remember from back in the day. What was the Dave Matthews one you told me? Like you were supposed to be opening for them at one point?
Well, yeah. So that was back in the Wetlands days, and boy, we were looking forward to that one, obviously, because that was going to be a big one. Like we had a few really great shows there, but this was the biggest band yet. Because at that time it was, Dave Matthews, Blues Traveler, the Spin Doctors. Those were sort of the three bands that would have been the best bands you could open for at the Wetlands,
Okay.
if you were going to get one. And we got the gig to open for Dave Matthews at the Wetlands, and he had just, whatever happened in his music business life, he had all of a sudden become too big to play the Wetlands, and he'd canceled that gig, and so he ended up...
Probably none of that him, right?
No, yeah, I mean, well, but I mean, they would just, they probably signed a record deal, and they're like, okay, we're going on tour, and you're not going to be doing, you're not going to be doing the show at the Wetlands. He was too big for that. But so we didn't get a chance to play with him. So we went, and it was the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies, not playing after us, but they had sort of rearranged the whole show, and the Big Bad Voodoo Daddies were going to play before us, and as a record company sort of thing.
Okay.
And we had asked him, maybe I caught this guy on a bad day, but I went up to him and I said, one of the guys from the band, and I said, what kind of music do you guys play? And he said, why don't you effing stick around and find out?
No way.
And I was like, and I was still young, I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I was like a, little hippie, from
Yeah.
Boston, originally from Rochester, New York. But like, I was a little bit like,
Wow.
just being nice,
Yeah. Did not mean anything
and
by
I was
it.
like, wow. And so we did. And of course, they blew our minds and they were amazing, but then we ended up playing that show and it was, it was still great. That was a great place. I don't know. You'd probably.
I don't.
too
Yeah, I was
young
going
to
to
have
ask you,
gone
but
to
that was like that was a big venue, huh?
It was it was the place that, for our type of music, it was the place that you wanted to play in New York City if you could get it. There was a few other great bars that were supporting, the early jam band scene, but that none bigger than the Wetlands.
Huh.
That was the one you wanted to play at.
Interesting. And how do you land that gig? Just word of mouth?
Oh, I was good on the phone. I used to call a lot. I think this was Planet B was the name of the band. Later, I was in a band called Another Planet, which used to be great. I used to be able to call people. I'd say, "Hey, this is Charlie from Another Planet,"
Yeah.
and I'd immediately get a chuckle on the other end of the phone, and the ice would be broken. And so, I still do most of our own booking. It's just hustle. You just call and
Yeah.
bug them
Huh.
by email now, but.
This is Charlie from Another Planet.
Back then, you used to pick up the phone and try to get the people on the phone.
Yeah, interesting. You probably never talked to that other guy there, on the phone before, the guy that didn't like your question.
Yeah, well, he was in the band, and sometimes bands who tour, they can be a little tired.
Temperamental. Thank you. Temperamental musicians. Those exist?
A little bit.
Did I? Yeah.
A little bit, but I find it's usually a function of how much sleep they had the night before.
Yes.
So.
Is that that's a real, like, me, I work early mornings. I'm done it my whole life. So now I'm like, naturally on the weekends, I don't sleep past like 5 a.m. anyway. I'm like messed up like that. I can't do it. Like, is that it can't be good. I keep thinking to myself, like, it probably isn't great, like, to not get these. And I'm not going to bed early either. So I'm like always struggling to find sleep here or there. And that's just, I'm comfortable with it. But like, as a musician, you work those crazy hours too. Like, do you ever like have to like stop and be like, I need like a week of Charlie time, block it out?
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't really work like that.
I know.
We're all. This is that's sort of the struggle of not being able to support yourself full time with music, is you got to do something else. And
Yeah.
so I've been able to find a pretty good balance with that, where if I do have a gig the night before, I don't usually have to wake up at 6 a.m. to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the old days. But now it's I have a little bit more balance. But yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, you just gotta do it. and if you don't love it, I don't recommend it. It's not, it's you gotta love it.
I feel bad for so many of the. We talked about your fan base and how they've been there for you during and on the other side of the pandemic. I feel like I know a lot of these people that I've had in here that are young. They were just starting, maybe finally feeling a little momentum for the first time, like in their music life, and then like the pandemic hits, and I'm just like, oh. I feel like horrible for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's tough. I mean, I think there were so many people of all levels, and not just music, but other, other jobs as well that are affected by it. I know people who, had opened up restaurants the year before or clubs or whatever, and it's just, it's really tough. People have, but that's life, and you got to learn how to be flexible. But it's a tough lesson for sure.
Yeah, and I do. The music community was great, though. I did notice that a lot of so many musicians that I either had on my shows or whatever. Like I found a lot of the musicians were in the place. I have talked to at least 3 of them who said almost oddly the same thing about how I'm thinking about helping out like a lot of the bars I played at and a lot of some of the theaters and the bartenders who I knew weren't getting work, and I was doing okay, so like I would try to help them out with this. Maybe I'll play here at their thing and throw them some extra money, and don't worry, I'll do that for free. And I'm like, next thing I know, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have any gigs lined up. What am I doing for the next couple months? So I was like, it was very strange to see people go through that thought process. And
there's been a lot of support, especially at the beginning when things first came back, and really still, but people are really over tipping compared to the way they used to.
Is that right?
Yeah, when I do a solo show or these duo shows, we don't always, with the band, we don't always put out a tip jar, but I mean, people are throwing money into the tip jars like they never were before, and it's really nice. It's
wow.
like, because they realize that it was a year without much income, and I'm doing the same thing I'm over tipping at restaurants. I think a lot of people are. It's just it's nice to see the support. But
and you know what else I think it is too? It's not even that. I mean, it is that definitely, but I also I've loved live music my whole life. It's what's my favorite thing to do is go out and see live music. But a year removed from it, I mean, I appreciate it. I think more than most people. I appreciate it 100 times more now after not being able to do it for a year. Like every time I go to a show now, if I see you or anybody I go to see, I'm like, just it's so much better now. Just when you realize what you lost.
Yeah, and I think that goes on the performance side too. It's it's once something's been taken away from you, you're not gonna be so quick to take it for granted again. So
see that we've moved to life lessons here. This is good.
No, I it's you got to look at the positives. I mean, it's hard. It's hard sometimes, but there are a lot of positives that came out of this. So.
Well, there you go. Let's. I'm not thrilled with this surge, so hopefully we can keep that at bay. It doesn't. I know we had some news from the governor today. We were both watching that, but you want to play one more?
Yeah. What do you want to hear?
I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't like picking for you. Those are the 2 new ones you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, those are the 2 new ones.
We'll save the rest for the album.
We'll save the rest. We'll save the rest for the record.
You know what one? You did it on here already, I think. Yeah, you did.
What's that?
I was going to say the online one, the Facebook.
I'll do that again. I don't mind doing that again. I love that song.
You do? All right.
Yeah. So,
I like that one too.
Let me tune up though. This one is a song. I always introduce it like it's for all the social media stalkers out there. But it's about it's about looking up your old flames on social media.
Yeah, I don't know why I like this song so much. I think it may have been. I think you played this the first time you were on. I can't remember. Maybe I just saw it on live. The record will show if you'd like to go back and watch. But
this one's gonna be on the record. We did this one, and Lynn Taylor does some amazing harmonies on this. I'm looking forward to having you here.
Awesome. We have to have Lynn in studio too. I've only met her on the show on Zoom with her. So anyway, Charlie Carozzo on Joppa Afternoon Drive. Take it away.
Somewhere in the attic, there's a shoebox full of letters, wrapped up with a ribbon, covered by the time. It came time for moving. She was packing up her boxes, found it in a corner, poured another glass of wine. He was easy to love, easy on the eyes, easy to laugh. They never had a try. She picked up her phone, searching him online. He looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine. He looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine. Scrolling through his pictures, she smiled at his family. 2 beautiful young daughters and a knockout for a wife. Still she had a wonder, doesn't mention her in passing. Think about a true love lost in another life. He was easy to love, easy on the eyes, easy to laugh. They never had a try. She picked up her phone, searched him online. He looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine. He looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine. Sometimes the grass is greener, sometimes the grass is plastic. It's never as fantastic as you try to make it seem. She clicked away his pictures, deleted what she'd written, wrapped those letters with that ribbon, put her past back in her dreams. He was easy to love, easy on the eyes, easy to laugh. They never had a try. She picked up her phone, searched him online. Looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine. Looks so happy, guess I'm doing fine.
Charlie Carozzo, very nice. I do love that song, man. Thanks. That was a good call. Thanks for playing
Thank
that
you.
one. And it's one of my favorites of yours right there. When did you write that one?
A couple years ago
Couple years
now.
ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
Do you, what's it, our set list? They come easy to you these days? Do you grind over them?
So I've changed up my set list strategy. I used to write, I used to grind over them, and I used to write it out and be pretty like call a few audibles.
Yeah.
During the set if I thought another song would be better. But I am maybe the last 20 shows or so just 100% winging it.
Really?
Yeah, I have a list of and I'm loving it. I'm finding that it's much, and this goes for the solo shows, the duo shows, and also the band shows. And I'm just calling them out as, the energy of the crowd sort of dictates. And I just feel like a friend of mine who used to play drums in an older band I was with, he had an expression he used to say, "Play the night."
Yeah.
Instead of play the set list, he'd say play the night. And that's what we've been doing. And it's, if the crowd is up, keep them up. If maybe I feel like it's time for a break, then we'll drop it back with a slow one. But I'm finding it much more enjoyable. I'm not sure my band is finding it as enjoyable as I am, but I love it.
They like a little more structure.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I know.
That is too funny. Not all quiet crowds are bad crowds, right? Sometimes crowds just listen more.
No, I love the listening room. I mean, it's funny. It's like you'll play a room, and you'll think you got to keep them up dancing, and you'll feel like this pressure to keep them up dancing, and then you'll play a slow song, and more people will get. There's all these people that haven't been on the dance floor yet that they just want to have a nice slow dance with their date, or their wife, or I guess you can date your wife,
whatever. Yeah, it could be.
I don't know why I said that. Sorry. But you know what I'm saying, so you got your date.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah. I'll get in trouble for that one. But, I mean, all of a sudden the dance floor is full of people who want to slow dance, so depending on where we're playing, so.
Well said. I get that completely. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if the pandemic changed your set list lack of grinding over.
It might have. I learned a lot of songs, but it's mostly a function of, how tight the band has gotten because, these guys now we've been playing together for so long with this lineup that, I can pull out anything and I don't need to, they'll know what it is by the first few chords I'm playing. They won't have to, they won't have to like have it told to them.
Must bring you satisfaction to see your band knock something out of the park that you kind of just threw at them too, right? That's some band leader satisfaction right there.
Yeah, like there's nothing. This whole reason why I do this, and I think probably every songwriter. I mean, it's great to. It's great to play a song by yourself and have it go over with a crowd. There's definitely a level of satisfaction there, but to bring I'm a band guy, I'm a group guy more than I am a solo guy, and the reason for that is it's incredible if you're playing with the right people. You bring something to them and they add so much, and a lot of times things that you wouldn't even have thought of. I'm lucky to play with Gary Backstrom, who, in a duo sense, I can teach him a song I just wrote that day. Yeah. And he'll come up with a part, he'll come up with a harmony, and then we can play it that night. So it's nice to have the flexibility of a duo. And then when you bring it to the band, I have a few more ideas, and then they just really blow it up, like you say. So
good stuff. Well, I told you this before. I know you're a band guy and all that. You are one of those musicians though that you can feel it when you play solo too, and I just love it. The lyrics, the voice, the passion behind it. I don't know. You get me every time. So
thank you,
you've become one of my favorites here. I'm glad that we crossed paths years ago.
That's high praise coming from you because I watch your show and you've had some heavy hitters on here. So thank you very much. It's nice of you to say.
You are one of them, my friend. I wish you a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas and all that stuff here coming up to you and the family. Hope everybody's doing well. Do you want to play us out? We talked Christmas song earlier.
Yeah, I'll play. Okay.
Is that
all right? So I don't know. Robert Earl Keen has become one of my favorites. I'm listening to a lot of Robert Earl Keen lately, especially the live stuff, and this is one that just got me. It's called "Merry Christmas from the Family." So
absolutely, we'll end it with this, everybody.
Redneck Christmas song for you people.
Very good. Charlie Carozzo. Have a good one, everybody.
Mom got drunk and my dad got drunk at a Christmas party. We were drinking champagne punch and homemade eggnog. Little sister brought her new boyfriend. He was a Mexican. Didn't know what to think of him till he sang Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad. Brother Ken brought his kids with him, the 3 from his first wife Lynn, and the 2 identical twins from his second wife Mary Nell. Of course he brought his new wife Kay. She talks all about AA, chain smoking while the radio plays Noel, Noel, the first Noel, first Noel. Carve the turkey, turn the ball game on, mix margaritas margaritas when the eggnog's gone. Send somebody to the quick back store. We need some ice and some extension cords. A pack of bean dips, some can of botched rides, a box of tampons, some Marlboro Lights. Hallelujah, everybody say cheese. Merry Christmas from the family. Family. Fran and Rita drove from Harlingen. I can't remember how I'm kin to them, but when they tried to plug the motor home in, they blew our Christmas lights. Cousin David knew just what went wrong, so we all waited out on our front lawn. He threw the breaker and the lights came on, and we sang Silent Night, oh silent night, oh holy night. Carve the turkey, turn the ball game on, make mud and berries 'cause we all want one. Send somebody to the stop and go. We need some celery and a can of fake snow, a can of bean dip, some diet Sprites, a box of tampons, some Marlboro Lights. Hallelujah, everybody say cheese. Merry Christmas from the family. Family. Feliz Navidad.
Woo! Merry Christmas, everybody. Joppa Afternoon Drive. Charlie Carozzo, thank you, sir. Happy holidays, my
All
man.
right. See everybody later.